strengthening series of our yoga set. If you haven't already, I'd recommend going in through the first video, the yoga flow, to kind of get a good warm-up going before this so the muscles are ready to fire and work hard for you. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started here. We'll start on kind of hands and knees and then slowly work your way up into a high push-up plank position here. And go ahead and press back into downward dog. Think about bringing your left foot in towards the center of your stance and bring the right foot up high. An option to swing the right leg all the way through in between your hands, or you can kind of go back down on your left knee and step it through if you don't have the full swing available right now. All right, so before we actually, I just kind of jumped the gun. Before we get up into that lunge, I want to just kind of work into our stretch here, our runner stretch with the fingertips on the mat and the foot right in between, the right foot right in between the fingers. And go ahead and slowly work your way up, arms up, overhead into a lunge here. The back left foot is moving towards the ground and we're sitting into our lunge. Think about equal weight between your right and your left foot, centered right over your torso. Think about your right knee pressing out towards the right. It's not collapsing in this way. Think about bringing the shoulders down away from the ears. And keep breathing. Good, we're gonna go ahead and rotate the left foot down. And so our heel's on the ground at about a 45-degree angle, staying down into our lunge, reaching the arms out and away from each other, gazes up over the right middle finger. I want to think about driving the knife edge of your left foot, the outside edge, into the mat. That'll turn on your left glute more. That'll balance out the weight between your right and your left feet. Let's go ahead and round back forward into the crescent lunge and sink back down into our runner stretch. Come back into our plank here, high plank, and with the hands pressing out towards each side, right towards the right, left towards the left, elbows are pressed forward. Now let's do 5 push-ups with the elbows in close to the sides. And then press back into your downward dog. Right foot comes to the center of the stance, left foot comes up high, and swing or step it through into our runner stretch. And go ahead and come up off of that back leg and swing the arms up into our crescent pose. Again, the right heel's moving towards the ground. Think about tightening your core a little bit here, like someone's gonna punch you in the stomach. Don't really bear down heavily, but just kind of, make it stronger and engaged. Shoulders down away from the ears. And breathing in and out through the nose. Good, and go ahead and open up into Warrior 2, that right foot at about a 45-degree angle towards the right corner of the front of the room. Sink down in your lunge a little bit more. Again, the knife edge of the right foot, outside of the right foot pressing into the mat. And fingertips are stretching out away from each other. Sink a little bit lower down in your lunge if you can. And rotate back over to face the front. It'll tilt to the chin in your crescent pose. Back down into runner stretch. Bring that left leg back. We'll meet back in our high plank. And then let's pump out another 5 push-ups here. You have the option to go from your knees as well here. And go ahead and press all the way back into downward dog. Again, the left foot comes to the center, right foot step or swing through. Runner stretch. Come up into crescent pose. Rotate over into warrior 2. And now straighten out that front right leg. Bring the back leg in a little bit. And flip your right palm up to face towards the ceiling. And with your legs still strong and engaged and feet pressing into the ground, start to lift the right arm up with the gaze towards the right fingers. And start to slide your left hand down your left leg, again with all the leg muscles still working, into reverse warrior here. Option 2, engage a bind by reaching your left arm back behind your back, the top of your hand pressing into your right hip. Make sure your legs are still strong and engaged here, and start to tilt back a little bit further towards the back of the room. Go ahead and tilt to come up. Widen your stance back out, sink back down into warrior 2. Open your palms up towards the left side of the room. Bring your chin down over towards your left shoulder and start reaching forward so you can't reach any further. And then tilt the arms to come down into triangle pose. So notice how my fingertips aren't even touching the mat. And my right elbow is pressing into my right knee as leverage to help rotate my torso up towards the left with my gaze up towards my left hand. Again, back edge of the left foot's pressing in to the mat to keep the left foot engaged here as well. And let's go ahead and tilt to come up. Back to warrior 2. Rotate back to crescent pose. Back down to runner stretch. Bring the foot back, meet in our high plank. And you know what's coming, 5 push-ups. And go ahead and meet back down into downward dog here. Right foot comes to the center, left foot comes up high, swing or step through, runner stretch. Press up into crescent pose, warrior 2. And straighten out that front leg, bring the back one in a little bit. And again, flip the left palm up towards the ceiling and start to, again, with straight, strong legs, quads engaged, glutes pressing forward, start to bring the right hand down the right leg, the left hand back up towards the ceiling. Gaze is up towards the left hand. Reverse warrior. Tilt to come up, widen your lunge back out, sit down into warrior 2. Fingertips reaching away from each other. Now face the palms forward towards the right side of the room. Rotate the chin back towards the right shoulder. And then reach forward till you can't reach any further anymore. And then tilt the arms to come down into triangle pose. Again, left elbow pressing into the left knee. Fingertips are not touching the ground. If they are, there's no weight you're putting down through them. Stretching the fingertips out away from each other and rotating a little bit further up towards the right. let's tilt the arms to come up. And back into crescent. Back into a runner stretch. Bring the leg back. Our last set of push-ups, 5 please. Back into downward dog. And now walk the feet up towards the hands and sit back down into your squat with the arms parallel here. I want to think about the knees driving out towards the sides, weight towards the heels, shoulders down away from the ears, and sit back for 5, 4,